Hey, yo, what's happening, man? This is your host, Most the Great. Day late, dollar short news, live and direct, where we ride for respect. Tap in, smash the like button to subscribe. All that old good stuff. Hit that notification bell so you be notified every time I drop, and you can tap in and tell a friend. And it's story time. Story time from your host, Most the Great, man. Um, I received a message early this morning, you know what I'm saying? Because sometimes I'll be having stuff up in my post for a long time, man, because I'll be busy with life. You know what I mean? I just do this YouTube thing on the side, man. It's a little side hustle, man. You understand me? But the post read, it was just a cap emoji on a story that I'm about to bring y'all about the time I got jumped by some bloods. I mean, of course, the picture, the chat GPT imagery on the post is cap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I put 2 on the 10 bed to try to make it 12, but the story is real. And if you don't believe that the story is real, man, go back to my story of the Vadio Bakers versus the Crips in Bakersfield, California. I may leave that link in the description for you to check out, man. And there is people in the comment section confirming what I'm saying. So, yeah, I don't make stuff up, man. And this story here, I didn't come out on top, man. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, man, this story is true. So I'm going to take y'all back to 1995, man, when I was a youth. If this was early in my claim in the set career, running around causing havoc and kicking up dust and getting in fights and, jumping people, getting jumped, packing people out, getting packed out, you know what I'm saying? Running around with yistles and all this and all that, right? So these blood dudes moved into my neighborhood. I stayed on Kincaid. The alley behind my house was an apartment complex, and that's where these 2 young dudes lived at. Now, every day I would walk by, mean mugging these guys, man. It was this dude and his little brother. This dude, he had to be, I don't know, 15, 16 years old. I was about 16 and a half, 17 at the time. And I would mean mug him, and I was getting into it with my homies because they didn't want to go with me to go, clap these guys down, shoot their house up and all this and all that. They didn't want to go. They was like, if you want it done, you do it yourself. I'm like, yeah, but y'all from the hood and they in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to convince them to go on this tirade. At least let's go pack them out. You know what I'm saying? They was like, nah, you on your own. You know what I'm saying? We ain't tripping. So me and the homies was getting into it over that, right? So this particular day, I'm coming out the house and I'll never forget it because my little brother was right behind me. He wanted to go with me. And I always used to, make them stay at home because they wasn't on the type of time that I was at that particular time. And I didn't want them to get caught up in my BS. You feel me? So I'm walking out the gate, you know what I'm saying? The back alley gate, going across the alley, to get to the homie's house that stayed on Augusta. But I had to go through their apartments. And I usually would always walk through their apartments, and every time I walked through their apartments, whether it be by myself or me with the homies, I would mean mug them, you know what I'm saying? Like in a fighting gesture, fighting them with my eyes, you know what I'm saying? If my eyes could talk, man, them niggas would be dead. But this particular day, dude wasn't having it. And I mean mugging him, we locked eyes, he mean mugging back. Now mind you, this dude is about, I say 15, maybe 16, but this dude about 6'1", 6'2". He was a tall youngster, you know what I'm saying? And this particular day, he balled his fist up and he was like, "What's happening? You keep staring at me like you want to get down or something, homie. What's up? This blood, woo, woo, woo." I never forget the look on his face, and I wasn't expecting that. You know what I'm saying?
I came up
I was
with some
expecting
real
him
niggas.
to bow
Most
down.
of them doing life because they kill a nigga.
I wanted to fight
Politicking
him,
in the
but at
hood
the
like
same
an
time I
activist.
didn't. I
Rollers
didn't
ain't
know what
giving
to
no
expect.
chance
You know
to
what
my
I'm
black.
saying? So
I
that's
came
what
up
happened.
with some real
He put
niggas.
his dukes up. I squared off with him. He squared off with me, and we commenced to fighting. Now we both swinging. Neither one of us was hitting each other. We didn't throw about 3 or 4 swings, and he tried to kick me with his long ass leg. This dude looked like Doslam off of Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? Long ass arm. I'm seeing everything that's coming. You know what I'm saying? Because it take him that long to swing. That's how tall he was. So next thing you know, I feel a thud in the back of my head. Bam. And the next thing you know, I'm up against the wall. I'm balled up like an old ant. You know what I'm saying? They own me. It was his little brother that had hit me. His little brother hit me in the back of the head. I wasn't expecting it. And I was up against the wall and they was wailing on me. They weren't hitting me in the face. They were connecting to the body, but you know, I had my hands up, you know what I'm saying, in a high guard, and they was on me. They was packing me, and I wasn't hurt, but physically, but my pride was hurt. My pride definitely was hurt, and I didn't want to let that go. His cousin ended up breaking up the fight, and unbeknownst to me, his cousin was my homeboy T. You know what I'm saying? Me and him used to roll together all the time, and I didn't even know that those were his cousins. You feel me? So after that happened, you know, I immediately linked with the homies. They linked with me. You know what I'm saying? And we already knew what time. I knew what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? And they were with me on doing what I wanted to do. And I did some coward buster-ish. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, that's why I say this story is real. This story is not rigged. You know what I'm saying? What I did, I'm not proud of. You know, and after I did it, the next morning, I had to face the music behind it, because the repercussions of it was their dad, who really was a blood, you know, and they were bloods too, but their daddy was a factor, a known member, you know what I'm saying, from over there. And I seen my mama walking down the alley, because that night I spent the night at my homeboy house, you know what I'm saying. We gave them dudes some she-knots that night. You dig? We gave them some shots that night, man. I'm going to just say that. I'm not proud of it. I'm not bragging about it. Like I said, man, that was some coward stuff. That was some buster shit to do. But at the time, man, my emotions overrode my common sense. And the next morning, like I said, I spent the night at my homeboy house, and I was walking down the alley, and I seen my mom talking to dude. You know what I'm saying? We're going to say his name is B for the sake of this video, man. But his name really is B. But anywho, my mom was hollering at him, and she was like, my son wouldn't do that. My son ain't did nothing, man. My son was here. You know, my mama lying for me. You know what I'm saying? She could figure that something, you know, something bad, something was wrong happening. And, you know, I hollered at dude, you know, on a sidebar note. And they ended up moving the next day. I haven't seen these dudes since, you know. They got every right to feel the way they feel, you know, because I felt the way I felt that night, man, and that was wrong what happened afterwards, man. But the catalyst of this video is, man, when you out here in the streets and you gangbanging, man, you involve people, you know, you involve your family members, man. When you banging, they banging too, you know. Especially, I'm doing some stuff like that to some people who live literally, you know, a few feet away from me, man. And they had kids in the house that night. And, you know, I still feel like ish to this day, man. I had to forgive myself for that, for that one particular incident, man. But it was many other stuff and I will get into that later on my channel, you know what I'm saying, the other stuff that led to me going to prison and a lot of different things. I got a couple of stories up on my page about that. But yeah, man, when you gangbanging, man, you sending your family through it, man. And you're not thinking rational, you know, you're not rationalizing your thoughts. You're just thinking about getting the next person. But it's like a ripple effect, man. When you throw a rock in the ocean, you know what I'm saying, or you throw a rock in the lake, and those ripples, man, it affects different people. You know, and like I said, man, like I stated earlier, man, when you put yourself in a gang, you're not only putting yourself in harm's way, but you putting your family in harm's way, man. And me telling y'all the story is actually therapy for myself, man. I'm getting it off my chest, man, and bringing y'all into my world, man. I would never fake a story for views, man. Hey, but anywho, this is your host, Most the Great, Day Late, Dollar Short, News Live and Direct will be brought for respect. I got to get ready to work. Y'all tap in. We out.
I came up with some real niggas. Most of them doing life cause they kill a nigga. Politicking in the hood like an activist. Rollers ain't keeping no chances cause my blackness. I came up with some real niggas.